Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 16, 2022. The Ministry of Education has announced changes to this year's administration of the Primary Exit Profile, PEP, in response to education stakeholders' concerns about the hardships facing students as the pandemic continues to affect learning. The Grade 6 performance-based tests scheduled for March 22 and 24 have been cancelled. At the same time, the Grade 6 ability test is postponed from its originally scheduled date of February 22 to March 24. Students will sit the Grade 6 curriculum-based tests on the dates originally announced, April 27 for Language Arts and Science and April 28 for Mathematics and Social Studies. Those in Grade 5 will have their performance task exams in Language Arts and Science on June 8 and Mathematics and Social Studies on June 9. Grade 4 performance tasks in Literacy and Language Arts will be administered on June 29, with Numeracy and Mathematics set for June 30. A bulletin issued by the ministry reveals that the decision to delay or cancel certain PEP exams followed consultations with members of the National Standards Curriculum and PEP Monitoring Committee. Runway extension works at the Sangster International Airport will begin during the first quarter of this year. Transport Minister Audley Shaw has signed a $34 million contract with UK-based Lagan Aviation and Infrastructure Limited and H.J. Martin Holdings Limited to undertake the project. The work is estimated to be completed in the second quarter of 2023. It will include establishing runway end safety areas, relocating thresholds and navigational aids, and increasing the takeoff run available for the primary runway from 2,662 meters to 3,060 meters. During the recent contract signing ceremony, Minister Shaw commended MBJ Airports, which operates Sangster International, for investing in the development of the facility.
This is important to enable SIA to accommodate and better serve direct flights from more distant destinations, such as Asia. In other words, when this expansion is completed, wide-bodied aircrafts that carry up 300 to 350 people will be able to land at this airport.
The extension works is part of a $70 million runway expansion project. The Jamaica Mortgage Bank, JMB, will be mobilizing financial resources for on-lending to developers in the 2022-23 financial year to increase the supply of housing solutions in the country. This is outlined in the public body's estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year ending March 2023. The JMB will be mobilizing resources to fund approximately 162 housing developments for the financial year. It will also seek to drive growth of mortgage indemnity insurance by adding at least one new mortgage granting institution to the number of approved lenders. The bank expects that it will issue 180 new mortgage indemnity insurance undertakings at a value of $220 million per annum. In addition, the JMB will be aiming to reduce its bad debt portfolio by 10% by closely monitoring the performance of new loans and pursuing the implementation of immediate strategies to dispose of and recover bad debts. The financial institution is also seeking to develop a robust marketing plan to increase income from non-traditional sources such as technical and project management services. Jamaica has authorized its first legal transshipment of ganja through the island. The Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, authorized the transshipment of a consignment of cannabis through Jamaica from fellow CARICOM member state St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This means that Jamaica served as a point for transferring cannabis from one vessel to another to facilitate the journey on its final destination. The shipment heading to Germany follows St. Vincent and the Grenadines recently receiving an import permit from the Federal Institute for Drugs and Medical Devices. According to the CLA, this sets the stage for Jamaica to become a hub for the transshipment of cannabis for medical purposes. Interim Chief Executive Officer at the CLA, Dania Ashpole, reveals that the authority has issued 113 authorizations for export to local companies in the cannabis industry, 60% of them in 2021. She says the CLA has put interim measures in place to facilitate the legal trans-border trade of cannabis as it awaits the promulgation of regulations for import, export, transit, and transshipment. Since November 2018, the CLA has authorized local companies to export ganja and hemp buds, seeds, oil or resin, and tinctures. These authorizations have been destined for Canada, Australia, Israel, Zimbabwe, the Cayman Islands, the US, Portugal, Germany, Switzerland, and England. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has distributed 2 million disposable masks to several key entities and vulnerable groups to help in the prevention and control of COVID-19. Schools, frontline workers, church groups, and vulnerable persons, including individuals with disabilities, are among those benefiting from the masks. They were procured from various international partners through the National Health Fund, NHF. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton insists that mask wearing remains a highly effective response to the pandemic and cautions citizens against being complacent as the country approaches the tail end of the fourth wave of infections.
The virus spreads through droplets that are more often than not seen by the naked eye when you talk. You know, until COVID, when I had to spend a lot of time trying to understand the problem, I didn't realize that we exchange so many body fluids in regular conversation as human beings. It's a lot. You'd be surprised. That's why when the flu season hits, so many of us get it, because we are spreading it all over.
The lion's share of the donation, amounting to 400,000 masks, went to the Ministry of Education for distribution to schools. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the items will be critical as full face-to-face classes resume.
We certainly want to ensure that our children, our teachers, and the public as a whole have the resources needed to mitigate the spread of the virus. The health and the education of our children is a collective national responsibility.
And finally, outpatient clinics are being returned to the Mandeville Regional Hospital after they were moved to the Mandeville Seventh-day Adventist Church Hall in September 2021. The decision was taken at the time to create additional space for the hospital as it managed the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic surge on its services and staff. The clinics are being relocated over 4 days, ending February 17, and operations will begin on the hospital compound on Monday, February 21. The hospital management has expressed thanks to the Mandeville Seventh-day Adventist Church for its partnership and support, and all clients and staff for their understanding during the period. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.